So I've got a Coleco 5380 here. It's really droopy on this side. You can see how it's got like low spots there. It's low through here. I'm going to show you guys how I flatten these boards back out again. Strip everything down. It's pretty basic. What I do, it's just a piece of flat MDF board I have. Perfectly flat surface is what you want to start with. On the inside, that's going to slip over top like that. And then once it's sitting on there, now you can really see how much play I've got in here. I don't know if this thing got wet, if something sat on top of it for years. Like this side's actually, it's not great either, but it's nowhere near as bad as the other side. But this side's really bad. So I'm going to have to work up in this back section here and really focus on it. So I'll show you how I get this done. I don't know too many people that do this kind of thing. But here's how I do it. Heat and steam. This is my iron, and if you can look on here, it's not good for an iron because it actually, it's just, I've done only a couple of these now and it's just trashed the edges of my iron. So use a crappy one. Don't use one that you love on your clothes. Yeah, so turn the steam on. Usually crank this thing to full. I go around and just kind of give it a steam. Some of these have warped because of moisture. Maybe they're left in a garage somewhere. Maybe spilled water on them, left outside. I imagine there's certain circumstances that make these so they're not repairable, but so far, it's starting to smell like a sauna in here. Smell of wood and steam. Yeah, so far I've had some pretty good success doing this. So essentially what I do is I just steam it for a couple minutes, and then I've got this thing pinned like as hot as it'll go, and I just go around. And it's still steaming. Getting that wood nice and hot, pushing the moisture into it. Obviously you don't want like water dripping all over this thing. Even in this process, you're not going to get it 100%. So I'm feeling like that's probably enough steam for this. Now I'm just going to put heat into it. It's not like I spend an hour on each corner, like each half of the rink or anything. Like probably less than 5 minutes. So I've got a piece of plastic under it just so the MDF doesn't soak up a bunch of moisture. And you do need to worry about moisture getting underneath the board onto the face. See, that's why you don't want to soak it. You don't want this particle board to go expanding on you. So you can already see the difference. It's already sitting down. Before it was like way, way up. Gentlemen, do not use your wife's nice iron. She will murder you. Gotta go and wipe down the underside underneath here just to get any moisture off. And then I load some weights on. And then you let it sit. I usually leave it overnight till the next day. Just let the air kind of dry the rest of the wood out so there's no remaining moisture in there. And then you should be good. Like, you're never going to get these 100%, but if they're super droopy and nasty, this will help a lot. So, the only way to get them perfect is to actually add bracing where it's pushing down. But this is a great way to get them back to kind of stock, original level. So. Alright, so all the ironing's done. Everything's wiped down on the bottom. Make sure the underside doesn't have any moisture trapped underneath it. Weights are sitting on everything. So I'll basically just leave this overnight. Let everything dry real good. Pull the weights off and see how it came out. Well, it's morning now. I had to do a little bit more work on this side. This is the bad side here. These spots just didn't want to stay down. Yeah, so that's flat. 4, this is all dipped out, and that was dipped out. Same on that side. It's actually really good now, so. Storage does a lot for these. Like, I'm sure if I let this thing sit like this for a little bit, it's gonna droop a little bit, but I've had pretty good success at, like, after I've steamed them and dried them, they seem to want to hold their shape okay. So she's all back together. You can see everybody's sitting nice and flat. This game was unplayable before. Yeah, so before I had trouble, which is the bad side again? That was the bad side. I would go down the sides here, and I wouldn't even be able to grab that puck. Like, it would just, my stick would go right over top of it. This is dead flat right now, it's awesome. Yeah, this is working perfectly. I'm pretty happy with that. Like, these are outside players, are dead flat. There's no weird drooping on the table now. So, yeah, that's how I do it. Get the iron out, steam it, heat it, let it dry with some weights on it. This is my 3rd table now that I've done this on, and I've been successful in every single one so far, and nothing on the top has gotten ruined. It hasn't swelled up the wood or done any damage, so that was a table that I could barely use before. It just kind of sat there and looked cool sitting in the corner. And this is playable now, so yeah. That's my recommendation. Take your time. Be smart about it. Use flat level surfaces. And don't forget, when you're storing these things, keep them on their edge or flip them upside down. They look great like this, but they just simply, they're not meant to be stored like this. They will droop again over time. So.